Okay, at that start. So let's talk about listening. Did you know that listening is actually an art?
No, I did not know.
Yes, listening is an art. It's something that we have to actively do.
Right.
We have to go into any conversation or any discussion with an intention.
Okay.
Let me break down listening for you a little bit. Here we go with the definition.
Okay.
It means to pay attention to sound, to hear something with thought. So to give consideration to, or it goes through the brain to process. So when something, if you hear something that's going through your brain to be processed, we know that now mentally you are having to break it down.
Right. Okay.
You're having to really focus.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're watching, like for example, we go to church. So if the pastor is up speaking, we are in tune and focus on what he's saying, because we are intentionally going there to hear a word. We're not just going there because we like the pastor. We're not going there because he's a cool guy.
Right.
We're going there with a purpose.
Right.
This is what listening is. Listening, the traits of someone who listens is to be purposeful, to be attentive.
Okay.
Also to understand and to get clarity.
I like that.
This is what we're trying to accomplish here. So we've moved from just hearing someone where it's accidental, it's involuntary, it's effortless, to be active listeners where we are focused,
Right.
where we are attentive,
Right.
we are doing it with intention.
Okay.
And so now, what we couldn't do when we just heard someone speaking or we were just hearing the conversation, now that we're listening to the conversation, guess what? We can repeat what the person said.
You got it.
We are now getting an understanding and we now have clarity.
Right.
We have a detailed comprehension because we have allowed ourselves and our mind to truly break down what's being spoken to us.
Right.
Have you ever been in a position where you know that you, on purpose, with intention, went to listen to something?
Yes. Plenty of times. If you need something to get done, you need some clarity on something, you need a problem solved, you don't understand something, you're frustrated with something and you need a solution, all of those things require listening.
Right.
And to, like you said, to put some attentiveness to it, and have a focusedness to it so you can receive and thought process it through your brain, like you said, to where you can react to it with solutions and some reactions to where you can make progress of what you're trying to learn or resolve.
Absolutely.
Right.
And basically with listen, it's like, because it's an action word, like listening is active. It means, again, it's in motion. Anytime you think of a verb or something that's in motion, it's because your brain is now focused on breaking down the parts of the sentence.
Okay.
So someone goes to say, you know what, today I went to the ballpark. Now your brain is breaking down each word in that sentence. Okay, today they went to the ballpark. You know what I saw at the ballpark? There was the Braves playing and Acuna hit a home run. And so your brain is processing these things down, especially when you are in a very detailed conversation. Again, something that you may be passionate about and you're having to intently listen to someone.
Okay.
Again, I will use the example of going to church and the pastor. You're going with a purpose. You're going to hear a word from the Lord. You're going to hear the message because you're hoping by you listening and being focused on what he's saying, that you will get clarity about a problem that maybe you've been praying about. You'll get understanding about a situation. Maybe it could be in relationships or friendships or a job.
Right.
You're on purpose listening to what's being said, because when you leave the conversation, when you leave the message that's being delivered, you don't want any confusion. You're leaving with an exact, accurate comprehension of what was spoken.
Good word, yes.
And so we have to remember how to differentiate between hearing and listening.
Right.
Again, listening, unlike just hearing, doesn't bring about confusion. You get total clarity, total understanding. By the end of that conversation, what was said has been effectively communicated and conveyed to the other person.
Right.
When you're watching a TV program, on purpose.
Right.
Like when you're watching I'm Just Saying podcast on purpose.
Are you hearing us or are you listening right now?
Are you hearing us or are you listening to us right now? Like if you need help on hearing or listening, guess what? You're going to, on purpose, with intention, listen to what we're saying. Listen to the tools and the resources that we're giving you, because you are actively listening to what we're saying. You're focused on the words because you want to be the person that can say, I'm a great listener.
Right. If I can piggyback on that,
yes,
we
absolutely.
can take it a little step further. Like you said, it's an art. You can become skilled in it. It's a profession, because we're looking at it from the conversation, but actual skilled people that know how to listen and hear. For example, like a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist can listen to us talk or hear us talk and knows how to listen and interpret what we're actually saying that we don't even know what we're saying.
Awesome.
For example, when we're talking and we're saying stuff that listeners say, I don't like going to the store, I don't love my wife, I don't want to hang around my wife. She hears, you know what, maybe you need more love. Maybe you need to have more companionship. Maybe we should go back to your roots. Or a mechanic. We hear our car when it breaks down, it goes, makes all these weird noises. We hear that. But a mechanic listens to what the car is saying and say, you know what, that's your alternator.
Right.
You know, that it could be a powerful tool if you could train your mind and train your ears and train your whole self to learn how to actually listen and interpret what somebody is actually saying that you hear and you listen to.
Wow.
It can be powerful.
That was powerful what you just said. Like literally I got revelation out of that, because that's what listening really means. Again, like that counselor, that therapist, they are focused on what that person is saying. So then they go deeper into the words.
Right.
They're breaking down the words, they're breaking down the emotion, they're breaking down, truly what's the underlying root of what this client is saying to me.
Exactly.
Man, that was so powerful. Like, we can talk about that all day, because that's exactly what happens. And when you're listening on purpose, especially, you have a lot of psychologists and therapists out there, this is their job. They get paid to listen.
Right.
Just imagine when you have become such a good listener, now someone is paying you to listen to what they have to say.
Thousands of dollars.
Again, with hopes that they're going to walk away with some understanding, some clarity, some support, some help. They're walking away with an improvement, whether it's on their life, love, and relationships.
Right.
Your car, oh my goodness, that was a very simple metaphor, but it was great. That analogy was so great to be used, because we do. I'm a woman, not to say that women are helpless or anything like that, but I ain't trying to work on no car. If I hear it sounding crazy or something, I'm like taking it somewhere. Like, screw this. I'm not listening to what the car is saying. And then the mechanic does go, oh, well, when you crunk it up, did you hear that? Yeah, I heard it. He's like, no, but did you really listen to it? Not really.
I hear things that you can't even hear.
It's not important.
Right.
At that time. Now, it would be very, very important to me if my car broke down.
Right.
Now it has my attention. This car has now gotten my attention.
Right.
But all of the warning signs when I wasn't listening to my car and I was just hearing the noises and I'm cranking it up and I'm hearing the weird sound in the tire, that's all I'm doing. I'm hearing it wasn't important to me. It was irrelevant.
Michelle, I've heard noises in my car and we're worried, and I've taken it to a mechanic and be like, man, it's just old age on your car. Those are normal sounds. You have nothing to worry about. Your car is 20 years old.
Absolutely. Like, that's just part of it. It's just maybe time for an upgrade, but now you don't have anything to worry about. And that's another part of listening. They can also, again, with that clarity and understanding, bring some comfort to you. Bring some ease to you. Bring some relief to you, because now you're walking away better. You're walking away more improved. I'm just saying, when you get the art and the skill of listening, because it is a superpower. It's an ability. It can strengthen so many relationships. It can strengthen yourself. And I'm not just talking about other people who you may be having a conversation with, but it strengthens you, especially when you can walk away confidently knowing that I got it.
Exactly.
I 100% got what they were saying. And let's say you're in school and your professor gives out a lesson. You go back, you read the chapters, you follow all the instructions and the rules, you come back, you're testing on it, you ace the test. Why?
Right.
Because you was actively listening. You went in that class and you listened with intention and you read the books and you did your research. And now, yeah, you get 100 because you went with purpose.
Right.
You listen with purpose. You listen to the lecture. You listen to the podcast. You listen to your mother.
Right.
With our mother, it's so funny because sometimes she's like, I don't think you're listening to me. And I'm normally going, I am listening to you. There are times when I'm just saying, yeah, I hear you.
Right.
I hear you. And the subject can be, it can be that important to me. It's not of a priority. But then there's some things that she's imparting to me that now you got my attention. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I'm focused on what you're saying, almost to the point I'm reading your lips. I'm watching and I'm breaking down. Literally, my mind and brain is now breaking down every word that you're saying. Right. And it's beginning to process it.
There you go.
Because you get to a point to where you're like, especially if you need some type of help or you need some type of counsel or you try, again, get clarity in a relationship, you want to actively listen.
Amen.
So you can walk out better. You can walk out stronger. You can leave that conversation knowing and being confident that you actually listen and you're going to improve. Change comes in your behavior now.
We're talking.
So at this point, now that we're listening, guess what? We're starting to see changes in behavior. Right. If you have the husband who you have to tell all the time, are you going to cut the grass? Our HOAs are not bad. You're going to cut the grass, and finally, you like, my hands is tied, I'm done, I'm through with it. But then the one day, you're having a conversation. You may have to go in the cool of the day. My mom always say, you're going to have to go in the cool of the day when things are calmed down. And what happens is, our HOA has been sending us letters because the grass hasn't been cut. So I know that you're busy, but I need, to get it done. Or even if you don't want to do it, we may need to hire someone to pay to cut the grass. Guess what this husband hears or this spouse hears? Okay, we're about to get penalized for not holding up the agreement with our HOA due to our grass being too high.
Right.
I don't want a penalty. I don't want to pay any higher taxes or fees. Now I'm listening to what you're saying because you have my attention.
Exactly.
And now I'm breaking down. So guess what happens? The next day, you see your husband out there mowing the lawn because he heard what you said and that change in behavior has now come.
Right. And
sometimes it could just be, again, what could be important to one person over the other person.
Exactly.
Sometimes when people just talking, and it may not be important what you're saying. But it has to become something that they want to pay attention to on purpose, intentionally. They want to sit there and seek out how they can improve, how they can become better by listening to you.
Right.
I think this is amazing. I think this is amazing with kids. When you're training your children, teach them the art of listening. Teach them how to be patient, because some of us, we want to talk over the other person.
Right.
Well, we can't listen if we're both talking at the same time.
You got that right.
No one's hearing each other. So start to teach your family and your friends and the relationships that you're in to sometimes just being quiet and really focusing on what the other person is saying. It will improve your life.
You got it. I totally agree.
Yeah, me too.
I got 5 kids. So my number one thing is when you're talking to the children and you're telling them the instruction and they're walking away while you're giving out the information.
Right.
And they're not gathering all the information. And then they come back and it's totally wrong
right.
and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally get it. Plus, always in the Bible says, and all you're getting
and understanding.
That comes with listening. Right? Slow to speak and quick to listen.
Yep, quick to listen.
That's your verse of the day.
Absolutely. Slow to speak, quick to listen. I love that. That's a good ending note that Dad starts. So I'm hoping that you guys really listen to this podcast on today, because it will help you in your relationships, in your careers, whatever you're trying to do, you're thinking about doing. Remember to be an active, intentional listener. That's how you can apply it. You want to approach conversations with the expectation that you're going to walk away with understanding and that you have intention. You also want to approach conversations and you want to look at the person in their eye when they're talking. These are just some little tools that you can use to implement great listening skills. So allow your brain again to focus and break down words and what the person is saying. Even if you read lips, you can do that. It gives your brain time to process. So like always, I am Shelly D.